Let's all stand. Thank you. Please be seated. Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Dominica, and Mistress Melissa Skerritt, Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau Central Constituency, Honorable Reginald Austrie, Senior Minister and Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Oscar George, Acting Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, Honorable Kenneth Darrow, Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Business and Diaspora Relations, Honorable Members of Cabinet, Your Excellency Lin Jiangxian, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Miss Karen Prevost, Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Dennis Edwards, Financial Secretary, Permanent Secretaries, Pastor Peterson Benjamin, all the distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you. And on that note, I wish to call to the podium Pastor Benjamin to lead us in prayer.
Good evening. Let's pray. Father, your word declares that exercise prophet, and that we want to thank you for this evening. It is you who created the heavens and the earth. Today, Daddy God, as we come before you, if there is anything in our hearts, in our lives, that will hinder us from making this prayer this afternoon, may you cleanse us and wash us, purify us with your blood as we come to your throne to ask for your divine blessing, your divine grace upon this proceedings. We thank you, God, that as Dominica will and prosper in his destiny, we thank you for the Republic of China that have assisted in this venture. We pray your grace and your blessing upon that nation. We commit the health and the sports sector of Dominica into your hands this afternoon. May we continue to receive your grace and your blessings. May your angels take charge over this nation and over our young people. May our young people walk in discipline, walk in reverent fear to you. We submit this proceeding before you today. We welcome you today, Holy Spirit. Welcome into this atmosphere. Take charge. You reside as Lord, Master, and Savior. We humble ourselves before you today, and we welcome you here today in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you very much, Pastor Benjamin. On behalf of the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, representing the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, I hereby declare the official ceremony for the handing over of the table tennis equipment donated by the People's Republic of China formally over. Permit me then to extend welcome to our dignitaries here with us, friends, well-wishers, listeners and viewers. We're happy indeed to have you witness today's ceremony and for your partaking in the celebration of the continued potential created for the youth in particular for the advancement of their sporting skills and personal well-being. During the course of the celebration and ceremony today, the various speakers will give details of the table tennis donation as well as the targeted impact on the contribution of sports to the socio-economic well-being of our country. Having said this, I'm almost certain you will agree that it is most fitting to extend special regards and consideration to the persons principally responsible for allowing us the benefits of the donation today. In the first instance, we recognize the sterling effort of Honorable Minister Skerritt in an official capacity as the parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central Constituency in securing of the supply of the table tennis equipment as a gift from the People's Republic of China. Likewise, and also by reason of the continued unwavering support to the development plans and progress of Dominica, I say an exceptionally warm welcome on behalf of the people of Dominica and the government by extension to His Excellency Lin Jian, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, and all the members of the diplomatic corps of the embassy. Your Excellency, we are also delighted to recall and highlight that this signature landmark and stadium of choice, where we are all assembled today, is part of the main infrastructure development package contributed by the People's Republic of China to Dominica. It is by no coincidence then that we are witnessing yet another valuable contribution to the growth and enhancement of sports in Dominica by the People's Republic of China. At this juncture, it is my considered honor to call to the podium Honorable Oscar George, Acting Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development. Honorable George.
Thank you very much. PS, let me first recognize the presence of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, our Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Business and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Kenneth Daru, the Member of Parliament for the Roseau Constituency, Roseau Central Constituency, Honorable Melissa Skerritt, Your Excellency Lin, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica, our Senior Minister and all the other colleagues here with us today in full support, the Cabinet Secretary, other permanent secretaries, our sports coordinator, officials of the Dominica Table Tennis Association, other invited guests, sports enthusiasts, the media, listeners, viewers, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. Sport can be a very powerful medium for advancing collaborative partnership and fostering foreign policy relations. And it's against this simple backdrop we are here today. We are here to celebrate an initiative geared at providing the required support to table tennis, thereby developing our local talent to make our athletes more competitive. 22 table tennis boards invested into the future of the sport of table tennis. This is very significant for us to develop the sport of table tennis here in our love country, Dominica. It's indeed a wonderful day for table tennis and the extension of sports in general in Dominica. We at the Ministry of Sports believe that this donation is very timely, as it is happening at a time when we are witnessing a renewed interest in the sport of table tennis among our youth. As recent as Saturday gone by, a new executive was elected to govern the Table Tennis Association. And I want to take some time to congratulate this new executive, and in particular our newly elected president, Mr. Later, who I believe will do a good job at the helm. I believe it is of critical importance to establish a framework for growth and development of the sport. This is in view of raising the profile of the sport and sparking more interest among all walks of life. The Ministry of Sports will continue to work closely with the Dominica Table Tennis Association to achieve these objectives. Over the years, the ministry has made efforts to keep the sport of table tennis alive, especially among our youth. With programs at the primary schools level, where annual district festivals and championships are held, and also at the secondary schools, where a two-day championship is the signature event. The sport provides our youth with tremendous benefits, such as boosting the development of the brain, helping them to be more focused and alert towards tasks, and allowing them to build friendships and find ways of working together. However, the reality is that the sport continues to struggle in terms of popularity when compared to other sporting disciplines. And this is further compounded given the quality of equipment that is unavailable locally and even within the region, which makes it very difficult for those interested in the sport. So with this investment here today, it will make it a lot easier to take part in the sport in the various communities and to see an increase in participation. This will imply a wider pool of athletes for talent identification and raising the standards as it relates to competition, even at the grassroots level. We have made it our duty to seek the required investments in sports, all sporting disciplines. We have done this because we are cognizant of the real impact of partaking in sports can have on our athletes, on their health, and also the opportunities that are out there to be taken advantage of. We continue to invest in the necessary structures required, such as building numerous playing fields around Dominica, hard courts, and also at the same time continue to seek opportunities for athletes abroad. All these are happening in a very difficult time when all countries around the world are faced with significant financial challenges. So I'm very happy that we can now boast of world-class sporting facilities right here in Dominica. Our endeavor is to develop table tennis across the length and breadth of this country. It's now left to our players to maximize on these opportunities and position themselves to raise their profile by developing the required skills and abilities. Let's demonstrate greater interest in the sport and make effective use of these donations to improve our talents. We know that the availability of space for playing the sport is a concern for some. The ministry will continue to explore avenues for suitable locations to host proper matches. The Massa Indoor facility provides a viable option for this. And moving forward, the development of the National Sports Complex at Stock Farm will also provide much space in the medium to long term. And I also believe that the Dominica Table Tennis Association should have a facility to operate from in the form of a headquarters or secretariat, this will bring some more structure to the administration of table tennis as we go forward. And this is something that I believe we will look into the short term. So we at the Ministry of Sports are overly grateful for this contribution. I'm sure that all our players will take advantage of this equipment, thereby advancing the sport of table tennis. And this contribution also reinforces our long-standing relationship between Dominica and the People's Republic of China. The PRC has been a true friend for sports development in Dominica. The gift of the Windsor Park Stadium, where we currently sit, is just testimony of this. The stadium, which was one of the pillar projects that signaled the establishment of relations between Dominica and the PRC, it still remains one of the largest capital investments on the island. It has transformed our sporting landscape and has enabled Dominica to play host to international sporting events such as international cricket and World Cup football qualifiers. This donation of table tennis equipment is yet another example of the level of commitment shown by the PRC towards the development of sports in Dominica. The sport of table tennis is loved by many here in Dominica. It is an easy way to attain fitness levels, improve overall health and wellness of our people. This, Your Excellency Ambassador, is also consistent with our government's commitment towards building wellness as part of a component for the overall development of health. So I want to commend the PRC for the continued collaboration with the government of Dominica. The PRC has been an excellent development partner to Dominica. Almost every single Dominican can speak to an intervention that benefits them, supported by the PRC. We are very grateful for this, Ambassador. Please convey our appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Sports to the Embassy and the PRC by extension. This contribution will go a long way in assisting the sport of table tennis. And I hope that the game can be used as a medium to continue promoting bilateral relations between our countries. I want to also recognize the contribution made by the Member of Parliament for Roseau Central for her initiative and reaching out on behalf of all table tennis players around Dominica. This activity here today is a culmination of many hours of negotiations, hard work, and formal engagements between both parties, spearheaded by the MP for Roseau Central. So I want to commend her in a very big way. And I'd like to say that Honorable Skerritt has been an inspiration for Roseau Central, and we are witnessing a total transformation of the city of Roseau. And when it comes to housing, education, sports, you name it, the MP of Roseau has been such a great inspiration for Roseau. And I'm sure that the residents of Roseau are very grateful for that. So MP for Roseau, the Ministry of Sports will continue collaborating with you going forward. We value your input and we will build a stronger relationship going forward. Special thanks to the staff of the ministry and all our stakeholders for the effort in making today a reality. Let's all continue playing our part to advance sports in Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Judge. And of course, the stadium, we admit, is going to be, or has been, making its impact in the region as the stadium of choice. Many of the international test players are bearing testimony of Dominica is the best grounds that they have been to, and of course, the quality of our people. So we want to continue to build on that tremendous platform. It is for me an honor to call to the podium His Excellency Lin Xiangxian, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, to share his remarks with us. Ambassador.
Thank you. Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Melissa Skerritt, Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau Central Constituency. Honorable Regional Austria, Senior Minister and Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Oscar George, Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, and Honorable Dr. Kenneth Daru, Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Business and Diaspora Relations, other honorable members of Cabinet, Your Excellencies, members of diplomatic corps, Ms. Karine Predvos, Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Dennis Edwards, Financial Secretary, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, other permanent secretaries, Pastor Peterson Benjamin, other distinguished guests, members of media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's been a real delight for me to join you here today for this wonderful occasion, along with my colleagues from our Chinese Embassy to attend the handover ceremony of the table tennis equipment. And on behalf of the Chinese government, I will present the 22 table tennis tables, together with rackets, balls, and other equipment to Dominica. The Chinese government and Chinese Embassy has always done what it can to help with Dominica's social and economic development and improvement of people's lives. Today, these gifts will present another gesture of our friendship. Sports are an important part of our lives as they keep us healthy and lift our spirit. In China, table tennis, also called ping pong, is a national sport, and you can see people playing ping pong everywhere, old and young, men and women. I wish to share with you an interesting story. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the China-US ping pong diplomacy. 50 years ago, China successfully pushed for the exchange visit between Chinese and American ping pong teams, paving the way for President Richard Nixon's visit to Beijing and ushering in the normalization of China-US relations. In our Chinese embassy, one of our favorite sports is playing ping pong. We play ping pong at our spare time. So there are so many health benefits you can gain from this sport. It improves your hand-eye coordination, and it is easy on the joint, it burns calories, and it is a social sport. A special mention should be made that in the pandemic, playing table tennis guarantees you exercise and build up your immune system while making sure you are socially distanced and reducing the chance of infection. It can be one of your best choices for sports in the pandemic setting. The embassy looks forward to holding a table tennis match maybe every quarter with local communities if the pandemic conditions permit. And right after the handover ceremony, our embassy will send a representative, this gentleman in red t-shirt. Yeah, we'll have a demonstration match with Minister Daru. Yeah, and I believe everybody will look forward to it. And we would be very happy to see table tennis becoming part of your daily entertainment and more children fall in love with this sport. And our embassy will provide facilitation to help gifted ping pong players to be trained in China. And by doing so, we hope one day, we can see Dominican ping pong players at Olympic Games and even a world champion from Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominica is an important cooperation partner and the best friends of China in the Caribbean. And we hold dear your long-standing friendship towards China and Chinese people. Since the establishment of diplomatic ties 17 years ago, our two countries have built up political mutual trust, carried out fruitful cooperation, and facilitated close people-to-people exchanges. And our friendship is exemplified and further heightened in our joint efforts to combat the pandemic. And since the beginning of this year, China has donated multiple tranches of vaccines, test kits, masks, ventilators, and other medical tools complementing Dominica's pandemic response. And we are also pleased to be able to help Dominica with your development and recovery efforts. And this year, the opening of cardiology department and donation of the MRI machine have augmented the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital as an emblem and landmark of our friendship. The agricultural technical cooperation is also processing well, contributing to the growth of Dominica's mainstay agricultural sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it is great honor for me to be Chinese ambassador to Dominica, the natural isle of the Caribbean. I will give you the assurance that I will exert my utmost efforts to further advance the relations between our two countries and enhance the friendship between our peoples. I'm confident that China and Dominica relations will grow from strength to strength down the road, and our cooperation will grow stronger for the benefit of our peoples. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. At this point, I would wish to call to the podium in an official capacity as the parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central Constituency, Honorable Melissa Skerry.
Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Honorable Reginald Austrie, Senior Minister and Minister for Housing and Urban Development. Honorable Oscar George, Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development. Honorable Dr. Kenneth Daru, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business and Diaspora Relations. Other honorable members of Cabinet, Your Excellency Lin Jiangtao, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Ms. Karine Privot, Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Denise Edwards, Financial Secretary, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, other permanent secretaries, Pastor Peterson Benjamin, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. I am honored to be presenting on the occasion of the handover of 22 ping pong or table tennis as we know it, sets from the government of the People's Republic of China to the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I am pleased that the Chinese government has seen it fit to provide these resources to the schools in Roseau Central, the stadium, and across Dominica to maximize its reach. I am particularly proud to take part in this ceremony because the provision of sporting equipment, sporting venues, along with the promotion of health, are promises that this government has sought to deliver. I wish to express my deep personal appreciation and gratitude to the Chinese government for this generous and quite timely donation. The world is now undergoing turmoil with the presence of COVID-19, and this pandemic brought immediate termination of all contact sports in an effort to contain the spread of this dreadful disease. And as a result, our children and students and all sports enthusiasts was forced to sorrowfully vacate the courts and fields and remain indoors. This unfortunate situation really bothered me and provided the impetus I needed to push even harder to obtain this equipment. And let me state here that I am a woman of my word. I do not make promises that I cannot keep. Therefore, this pandemic could not stop the sporting revolution in Roseau Central. I vowed to bring about transformation in the field of sports within the city. And since this declaration, we have seen sports come alive here. This was further reinforced with the commissioning of the 4 courts earlier this year. We're here on the basketball, netball, volleyball, and tennis forecourt. And I had to ensure that sports could continue despite the challenges that we currently face. With this trust in mind, I made immediate contact with the ambassador of the Chinese embassy for his assistance in this matter. My request was enthusiastically accepted, and immediate arrangements were made to furnish these table tennis sets. This is yet another clear and tangible example of China's strong commitment to forge a close bond between our countries. And just yesterday, I was quite pleased to learn that one of my constituents and friends, Mr. Peter Leta, he was recently voted in as the president of the Dominica Tennis Association. We've since had discussions about our plans to take table tennis to another level. And this would mean our youth and adults will very soon be able to participate in regional tournaments and ultimately the international stage. One should note that there are quite a bit great benefits of table tennis, some of which include fun and exercise. And with this current social distancing requirement, it also presents a virtually contactless game. It remains an excellent sport for older adults and children, and a perfect option for those who have knee or back problems or sporting injuries. So it brings me immense pleasure that hundreds of students, children, and adults will be exposed to this sport. And one should note that the last time table tennis was publicly available in Roseau was about 20 years ago at the Dominica Club. This means that there are 20-year-olds in Roseau who have probably never been exposed to playing this exciting sport. And thus, this donation opens up a whole new world to many of our young people and brings a sense of nostalgia to those who were exposed to this great sport years ago. We want to ensure that everyone gets to play this game, because this game could lead to participation in local, regional, and international competitions. The Embassy of the People's Republic of China has also agreed to provide training to coaches and participants to ensure that appropriate level of competency is achieved in this sport. And for this, we are extremely grateful. In speaking to Ambassador Lin, I also conveyed that there are quite a number of Chinese nationals who reside and work in Roseau Central. Some are table tennis enthusiasts who are ready and willing to play for our locals, thereby bridging the gap between our cultures. We can both appreciate that this will create an even deeper friendship and fraternity between our people on a local level. This will ensure that maximum use is made of the table tennis sets in our schools and within our communities. I'm also working closely with the Dominica Netball Association, and pleased to announce that Dominica was selected to host the OECS ECCB International Netball Series, crowded for next year, given this pandemic permits. Many of our athletes are, at the moment, traveling to other countries to participate in tournaments, and surely we do not want to be left behind. We are very well aware of what is happening around us, but we are also cognizant of the fact that we must learn to adapt to the new normal, be responsible, and practice safety measures. This is a huge sporting event which will help stimulate our economy by providing jobs, foreign exchange, and needed income to hoteliers, small businesses, taxi drivers, vendors, and other stakeholders. We have also begun looking at developing an enclosed area for squash and boxing, which will be towards the northern end of this forecourt. For those who may not be aware, let me humbly remind you that we recently boasted of a thriving boxing community, and we even hosted matches at the regional level. This is what I desire to bring back to Dominica. And earlier this year, I spoke to Valerian Spicer, Dominica's past female boxer who represented us at the Olympics, and she currently resides in the United Kingdom. We will collaborate, and with her assistance, we are working towards the development of boxing in women in boxing in Dominica. This indicates that the government is committed to expanding sporting access across the city and Dominica by extension. And it would be remiss of me if I did not acknowledge the invaluable assistance of my friend, His Excellency Martin Charles, Dominica's ambassador to China, for his help in the facilitation of this meeting. Thank you, Ambassador Charles. Thank you, Ambassador Lin, and the government of the People's Republic of China for your continued support and genuine friendship. We look forward to continued close collaboration between our governments, between the government of Dominica and the People's Republic of China. Thank you. All the glory belongs to the Almighty Father, and so I say thank you to him, for his promises are unfailing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Scarrett. At this point, the silent movers, often we take for granted when we have development initiatives coming from overseas and not realizing the hard work and effort and diligence that foreign affairs have to play. So it's for me a privilege and honor to call to the podium Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, the Minister responsible for foreign relations. Honorable Darrow.
Thank you very much, Ms. P.S. Let me recognize the presence of the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Melissa Skerrit, Member of Parliament for the Rosa Central Constituency, Honorable Reginald Austri, Senior Minister and Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Oscar Judge, Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, acting, other honorable members of Cabinet and Parliament present, Your Excellency Ling Xiangjiang, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, and of course the staff of the embassy here in Dominica, Your Excellency members of the Diplomatic Corps, Ms. Karen Prevost, Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Dennis Edwards, Financial Secretary, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, other permanent secretaries, other personnel, senior personnel from the Ministry of Sports. I recognize the sports coordinator, Pastor Peterson Benjamin, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by first welcoming to the Commonwealth of Dominica our recently appointed ambassador, His Excellency Ling Xiangjiang, who just a few weeks ago took his oath by the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica to continue the work of his predecessor at the People's Republic of China Embassy here in Dominica. And let me further go on to recognize the efforts of the Member of Parliament for the Rosa Central Constituency, whose vision for the city we have witnessed unfolding before our very eyes, not only in sports, but also the general socio-economic landscape of the city of Rosa. We think that your efforts today have been commendable, Mrs. Skerrit. And of course to the People's Republic of China for yet another gesture of solidarity with the government and people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Ever since establishing diplomatic relations 2004, we're talking about 17 years ago, the People's Republic of China has shown that it has been the friend of the Commonwealth of Dominica, both in good and bad times, and for this we are forever thankful. And in many ways, both tangible and intangible ways, in visible and invisible ways, the People's Republic of China has shown that it continues to be a vital partner to the Commonwealth of Dominica and changing the development landscape of the Commonwealth of Dominica. In fact, as alluded to by the Permanent Secretary Blackmore, the very stadium where this function is being held is a venture of the People's Republic of China, a massive investment in sports here in Dominica. And we can speak to highway construction and reconstruction of bridges, especially post-disasters, investment in roads, educational institutions, and of course, how can we forget the flagship project of the Dominican People's Republic of China Union, the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital, a massive investment of over $100 million towards improving what is perhaps our most vital asset, our health in Dominica. And we can speak to personnel in terms of the medical cooperation between the People's Republic of China and Dominica. And of course, how can we forget the People's Republic of China's response post-disasters, especially in 2015, we speak of Tropical Storm Erica, and again 2 years later in 2017, Hurricane Maria, where the People's Republic of China was one of the first countries to rush to the side and the aid of Dominica. And for this, the people of Dominica will be forever grateful. And of course, during this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, from the moment that this dreaded virus reared its ugly head here in Dominica, the People's Republic of China again rushed to our aid in the donation of personal protective equipment, PPE, test kits, vaccines, and ventilators. And these ventilators were donated at a time when ventilators, as I've said before, were more valuable than diamonds. And all of this has been used in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic here in Dominica, contributing to the success, the relative success that we have had thus far. So again, I would like to say thank you to the People's Republic of China for all of these interventions in recent years. Mr. Ambassador, on behalf of the government and people of the Commonwealth of Dominica, we'd like to extend, of course, a sincere thanks to your President, President Xi Jinping, for all the wonderful initiatives that have been undertaken here in Dominica. And I'm sure, as has been echoed, as has been said before, and I'm sure will be echoed throughout this program, that Dominica stands committed on the one China policy. We believe in the one and only China. And wherever, as small as nation as we are, small piece of rock, we will continue to voice our support on the international stage in support of the one China policy. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kenneth Darrow. And of course, it's by no coincidence you see a very loaded head table. It signifies the honor and the appreciation of the friendship between those two countries, and more importantly, the significance of sports in the continued development of the Federation of Dominica. So for me, the one at the podium, it's indeed an esteemed honor and privilege to call to the podium the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Thank you very much. Let me first of all recognize our Senior Minister, Honorable Reginald Ostry, the Member of Parliament for Rosa Central, Honorable Minister Skerrit, who is also the wife of the Prime Minister. My friend and colleague, Honorable Oscar George, the Minister for Sports, the Acting Minister for Sports, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, Minister for Foreign Affairs, my dear friend, Your Excellency Lin, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica, my cabinet and parliamentary colleagues, Ms. Corinne Prevost, the Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Dennis Edwards, Financial Secretary, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, PS of Sports, other permanent secretaries, Pastor Benjamin, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and friends of the Rosa Central Constituency who are present. I want to recognize especially. I want, first of all, to express again, or to reiterate our expression of gratitude to the government of the People's Republic of China for this very important gesture, the donation of 22 table tennis sets. And this, I believe, will certainly, as the Member of Parliament for Roseau Central indicated, will certainly enhance sporting activities, not only in the city of Roseau, but throughout Dominica. I recall when the Member of Parliament spoke to me and indicated that she wanted to develop sports, and we should speaking specifically about table tennis, recognizing that there are many persons within our own constituency, especially at the schools and the wider community, who needed to engage in a sport that most people will be able to engage in, a non-contact sport. And she indicated that she needed sponsorship for, I believe, 4 table tennis sets for her constituency. And she decided to make an approach to the Chinese embassy for such a donation. And I believe that between the residents and the drive to the Chinese embassy, she increased the number. She increased the number and made a request for 22 table tennis sets. And I was told immediately upon that request, the Chinese government gave a positive response to the request. So I really want to commend the leadership and the industry of the Member of Parliament for the Roseau Central Constituency, Honorable Minister Skerrit. I believe in Honorable Skerrit, Minister Skerrit, the people of the Roseau Central Constituency as a champion of a parliament. And someone who has a clear vision, having lived in the vicinity of Roseau Central for all her life, understands the way of life of the people, but has taken a deep appreciation even before she became Member of Parliament for her charity, doing so many things, positive things for the Roseau Central constituency, and of course, nationally. And so I am confident, as I've said to the Roseau Central constituents before the last election, that if you were to elect Melissa Skerrit as a Member of Parliament, you will not live one day to regret it. And so far, thank God, you have certainly been pleased of every day so far, notwithstanding the challenges of COVID-19. And she has with her a partner in the government of the People's Republic of China and the Chinese embassy, who has partnered with her to make this a reality. And of course, just on Saturday, as she launched the Santos Mall to highlight the spirit of Christmas, but equally importantly also to highlight the depth of our small business enterprise in Dominica. Because the people, the 50+ people, small business owners who are vending on the bayfront, David Charles Boulevard, are not only from the Roseau Central constituency, they come from all parts of Dominica, showcasing what they manufacture and produce out of their hands and out of the raw materials which we have in Dominica. And so, and there are a number of other plans that will be unveiling in the year 2022, the year of our Lord, to advance the enhancement of the city and the continued rejuvenation of the Roseau Central constituency. Sometimes I am guarded because she's my wife and we do not believe in self-promotion. So we go about speaking about these things in the greatest sense of humility. But I will admit that she is exceptionally committed to her constituents. And I must say that her constituents are also exceptionally committed to her. And notwithstanding the fact that she has to take care of 2 small children, especially with online learning, and juggling with the duties of a parent, she is certainly doing exceptionally well. And the people of the Rural Central Constituency will certainly continue to benefit from this. But I really want to also thank the Chinese government. I believe as a human being, not only as Prime Minister, but I value friendship, and I also value loyalty. And I must say to our citizens that the Chinese government and the Chinese people have been reliable and true friends of the people of Dominica. And you do not know who are your true friends when things are going well. You know who are your true friends when things are difficult. And we have been tested as a nation in the last 17 years since we established relations with China. From the earthquake in 2004, to Ophelia in 2010, to the trough in 2013, to Erica in 2015, to Maria in 2017. And in every one of these instances, one of the first calls I would get is from the Chinese ambassador or one of the representatives of the Chinese government from Beijing. Not only expressing words of empathy and sympathy, but indicating to me as the Prime Minister of this country that we are there to help. And they will stand with us. And they have proven this in every single term, their commitment and their genuine engagement with the people of Dominica. So Dominica, as a small nation, have as one of its best friends and allies the second largest economy of the world, that is the People's Republic of China. And I recall that when we were hit by, I believe, Ophelia, we received a call from the Chinese and they offer support and they asked, what do we need? And I articulated to them the needs of the country at the time. And they're the ones who told me, well, we heard that a bridge got washed away in Lime, and we will offer to build this bridge for Dominica as a grant as well. That is how we got the York Valley Bridge as a grant. And this bridge has been built with resilience in mind, that it survived Hurricane Maria with no damage whatsoever to that bridge. And we say thank you to the people of China. And what many of us do not know is that when we established relations with China, we were at the throes of the standby arrangement and the structural adjustment with the IMF. And at that time, we were in a serious crunch. As a matter of fact, when we established relations with China, we did so as a matter of principle and a recognition of international law, that there is but one China, and the People's Republic of China is the sole authority over all of the Chinese territories, including Taiwan. And so this is international law, recognized by the United Nations. This is why you only have China, the PRC, sitting at all international bodies, because all international bodies have to subject themselves to international law. So our decision to establish relations with China was done as a matter of principle. And this is why we will continue to adhere to the one China principle and play our part for the peaceful reunification of the whole of China. So this ceremony today is part of a genuine bond of friendship where we have the Chinese government providing support to us as a nation, a developing country, to help us with our economic and social advancement. And I say to the people of Dominica that this is a genuine friend. And I want to thank the Chinese ambassador and to express our gratitude to his government. And so, we're happy to be here. I urge all Dominicans to let's exercise. 30 minutes of intense table tennis can certainly burn some calories, and it can certainly give you, as we say, a sweat. I understand Lady D whispered to me earlier that she's going to certainly venture into table tennis as a means of exercise, so we have somebody enlisted already. My friend, the most Senior Minister Austria, has also told me that he is giving serious consideration to this, so we're making progress of enlisting individuals to get involved in this. And I'm sure that once these table tennis sets are delivered and distributed across the country, we will see a resurgence of table tennis in Dominica. And with the election of Mr. Later as the chairman or the president of the association, we will partner with him, as the power has indicated, to cause the sport to be rejuvenated in our country. It's an exciting sport that everybody could play, from children to adults, to the elderly, to senior citizens, and we urge you to get involved. But we're really here because of the efforts of the Member of Parliament for Roseau Central, and we really want to thank her for her efforts and so on. And this speaks to what this party stands for and what this party, the Labour Party, has been saying to the nation, that you do not necessarily have to be in government to properly represent or rely on government funding to properly represent the interests of your people. If you love your people as a party rep, and if you care about them as a party rep, you will find means and ways of finding solutions to their problems. And so, the party for Roseau could have said, let me write a letter to the Minister of Finance to get us 4 table tennis sets for Roseau Central. But no, she decided to get a project together of her own doing and make representation to a friend, the People's Republic of China, and solicited an appointment to visit them, and was able to get this grant here in Dominica in quick time. So this is what we say within the party, that we're here to represent people, that we're here to help to work with them to solve their problems and to solve their challenges, and to help them develop themselves. And by working together, all of us, we believe we can continue to make a positive difference in the lives of the city. I know that the next sporting facility that the Member of Parliament is eyeing is for the small goal people, football, which is a major sport in the city, and many individuals use the botanic gardens as the area for recreation. And of course, we had designated next to the grammar school for that purpose. And so once that place is cleared, then we will move to the erecting of a small goal facility there for the residents of the city of Roseau. And of course, I know the Member of Parliament for Portsmouth is there, and I've spoken to him up until today that we have to transform the sporting facilities in the town of Portsmouth. We've done so with Benjamin's Park, but certainly we need to upgrade the basketball court in Portsmouth and move to construct the tennis courts and the netball courts and the volleyball court in the Portsmouth, and so that we can, folks from the other parts can certainly come to Portsmouth as the only town. I know many parents want to call the places town and so on, but Portsmouth is but the only town. That we can also have these corresponding facilities in Portsmouth. And finally, I'm sure some of you would have witnessed my friendly encounter with the Chinese ambassador earlier on the table tennis court. And I think if I could have beaten a Chinese on the table tennis court, then I think I am well on my way to becoming an international table tennis player. And I was able to beat the Chinese ambassador, who is the highest ranking representative of the Chinese government in Dominica. So the point is, if I can do it, I'm sure all of you who listen to me and who are here present can do it and so forth. And I want to thank the Chinese ambassador for being present and his staff. Now, the reality is that I was down to play a friendly with a representative of the Chinese embassy. But I know the Chinese very well, and I'm sure they were going to find one of the best Chinese players in Dominica to play the friendly. So I decided the best person to put as a matchup is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I would like for the representative of the Chinese embassy to stand so you could see him. You see how he's dressed to play. The guy, he bought some new pair of shoes and he has his outfit, and Dr. Darrow came with his usual exciting attire. And so, but we will be there, Dr. Darrow, to root for you. And I have designated myself as his head coach. And having me as the head coach, I believe that we will be the Chinese tonight. So, Chinese Ambassador, thank you very much. Member of Parliament for Roseau Central, congratulations to you. And I will say to you that the political leader of the Labour Party is certainly pleased with your efforts. And I have no doubt that the people of the Roseau Central will continue to repose their trust and confidence in you for a very long time to come. Thank you very much, all of you, and of course, thank you, PS, for your efforts, and your sports coordinator and the staff of the sports division. Our dear minister is out of state, and I want to thank her for her efforts as well. And my friend, Honorable Oscar George, who is the acting minister for sports. And so thank you very much, and let the games begin with Dr. Darrow and the representative of the Chinese government, Chinese embassy here in Dominica. So the first big match in Dominica will be tonight, and so forth. I see Comrade Blackmore is here, and we have backup. I want to warn the Chinese embassy. We have Dr. Vince Henderson here who's in backup. If Darrow is not, it has to be subbed. So we're not taking this game lightly. This is big people's thing, and we have to. And of course, we have Dr. Mack, the Minister for Health is here, and so on. We have Kent here. We have people. We have people there who will line up and so forth. Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you, Member of Parliament, Roseau Central, for your efforts, and you are really the reason why we're here, and we thank you for bringing all of us here for a very positive engagement, notwithstanding the COVID-19. But there's so many things in this country that this government is doing, notwithstanding COVID-19, that we all should be grateful to the Lord for, because this has been difficult times, but one cannot say that we're not doing our best in the circumstances and delivering for the people of Dominica in the circumstances. And this is the best government that the country has seen for its entire existence. And you know, serious people, not when you have cake sharing and wine sharing, when there's work to be done, and when there's a lot of work to be done, and the ministers and the power reps on the Labour Party side are equal to the task, and are dedicated and committed to the task. And we know that's what we need, because you need to know that when things are difficult, the question is, who can you go to bed leading you, representing you, because you have to wake up tomorrow morning to certain realities. And every single Dominican, irrespective of who that person is, some may say so publicly, some may say so in their dreams, in their sleep, some may confide with their priest and pastor, some may say so on the dinner table, Some may whisper it, but they all say in Dominica that thank God we have Labour Party in government, because we know when Labour is in government, we are confident that they will find solutions to the challenges of Dominica. Just look what happened after Maria. Every single Dominican, both here and overseas, thought that Dominica was finished. We will never recover. And if we do, it will take us 20 years to recover. And less than 2 years, we're back on our feet again. First by the grace of God, but also by our human ingenuity and our human efforts. Because the Lord cannot force us to do things. We have also to work, because it says, by the sweat of thy brow thou shalt eat bread. So yes, there is bread out in the field, but if we don't go to till the soil and to work it and to harvest it, because they said the harvest is many, but the laborers are few. And the reality is, it is us here that's working. The others are just criticizing. The others are just being negative. But if negativism could bring development to a country, we would be a $1 trillion economy. But it requires hard work, determination, grit, and as the Bible says, of all love. We, the Labour Party representative people, love this country, and we love the people who reside in it. This is why we continue to make the sacrifices, personal or otherwise, to help this country get to where all of us would want it to get to. And I'm so happy that we have, as a partner in this effort, the Chinese government. The Chinese government, and the respect and admiration which the Chinese government extends to us as a country. Because in big countries like China, it is sometimes difficult and impossible to have an engagement with their leaders. And we know that the Chinese president is one of the busiest persons in the world. And if your prime minister from a small country could say to the Chinese government that I would wish to have a meeting with the Chinese ambassador, Chinese government, Chinese president, Xi Jinping, and within 72 hours, that meeting is convened, it speaks to the respect and the admiration which this government has for the people of Dominica. And so, while our relationship with China is based on our adherence and respect for the One China principle, it is also based on a mutual trust and mutual respect and mutual admiration which we have between ourselves. And those things are very important in any relationship, and far more a relationship between two nations. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this country is in good hands. Let us continue to keep this country in good hands as we work together to build our nation. Tomorrow we shall have our first direct commercial flight between North America and Dominica. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! There are some who said that American Airlines is sending an old plane to Dominica. Whether it is a new plane or an old plane, it will be a plane anyway. And the plane will land in Dominica by the grace of God. And those who do not want to fly on it, we'll put them in a cardboard box and let them sail to Miami on this. But we all, as sensible Dominicans, welcome this direct flight. It will enhance our economic opportunities. It will help bring more people into Dominica. And when more people come into Dominica, what does that mean for us in Dominica? It means more foreign exchange. It means more hotel rooms occupied. more taxis engaged, more rental companies used, more food, local food consumed, more fish consumed. And of course, as the Minister of Finance, more revenues in the Treasury of Dominica to help address the issues confronting Dominica. So we all should see this as a national achievement, and not, because we may not be supporting the government, throw cold water on this at all. We should be grateful for this and look forward to this. And I am confident, Ambassador, that once this international airport that we're about to construct is completed, we will certainly see a direct flight between Beijing and Dominica in the near future. And so I want to again express my gratitude, Ambassador, to you for so many generous offerings that the Chinese government has done for us. And Dominicans feel greatest in the confidence of the friendship and relationship that we have. And I also want to commend you, Ambassador, for the energy that you have brought to the position, and for your enthusiasm and your commitment and determination and urgency to help advance the economic and social agreements which you have between Dominica and the PRC. And we're certain that during your tenureship, we will see the strengthening and the deepening and the advancement of the relationship between our two countries. So I wish you all the best, and you have the absolute support of myself and the government of Dominica in ensuring that your sojourn here in Dominica is successful. Thank you very much all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister, of course, for your very encouraging and inspirational words. And of course, we cannot overlook the right moment as well. Dr. Daram, on your side, at least you have one champion. On this note, I would like to go to the next order of business to call on the sports coordinator to help over the front. So we will ask his ambassador and Honorable Skerritt to go to the fore so we could have the exchange of the gift. And would be followed by the Minister for Sports. Okay, we'll now call on Honorable John, the Acting Minister, to receive from Ambassador. Thank you very much, Ambassador. At this moment, we will go on to the vote of thanks. Since PM has already set the impetus for a very highly competitive match later on, we want to ensure that there is no distraction. So we will now do the vote of thanks, and then we'll go on to the match. We'll now call on the sports coordinator to do the vote of thanks.
Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Reginald Ostry, Senior Minister, Honorable Oscar George, Minister, Acting Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, Dr. Kenneth Daru, Minister of Foreign Affairs, other honorable members of Cabinet, His Excellency Lin, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellency, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Ms. Karen Prevost, Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Dennis Edwards, Financial Secretary, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, other Permanent Secretaries, Pastor Benjamin, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, I wish to thank all gathered here for your presence at this very important ceremony, the handing over of much needed table tennis equipment, a donation from the People's Republic of China. Special mention must be made of the Honorable Prime Minister. Thanks for taking time from your busy schedule to grace us with your presence. Such sign of support from the top executive position is welcome and provides confidence to sports practitioners of the true commitment of your government to the development of sports. Since we are once more at the receiving end of the government and the people of China, we wish to also thank you, sir, for your decision to establish diplomatic relationships with the people of the Republic of China, People's Republic of China. To Honorable Popon Skerrit, Member of Parliament for Roseau Central, we thank you for your presence, and also of even greater importance, we thank you for your initiative which allowed the table tennis players of Dominica to receive these important pieces of equipment. We assure you that your efforts are appreciated and will result in improvements in the standard of play within the table tennis fraternity. Special thanks to the Embassy or the Excellency Ambassador of China, Ambassador Ling, for the donation which we received here this evening. We are grateful for the equipment and assure you that they will be put to good use. This donation is yet another sign of the support of the government and people of China to the development of sports in Dominica. Please convey our gratitude to your government and people for the continued support. Thanks to Honorable Dr. Daru for your presence and your address. To Honorable George, we say thank you for being part of this occasion. And also to all other members of Cabinet, we say thank you. Ms. Tasha Peltier for your rendition of the National Anthem, Pastor Benjamin for leading us in prayer and bringing God's blessing to the occasion. Thanks to our PS, Mr. Blackmore, for the leadership provided on getting this ceremony going, and to all other permanent secretaries and staff of the various ministries who played a role into this ceremony. All those who played a part in one way or another, we say thank you. To the media, thanks for your presence, and we look forward to your broadcast of today's ceremony and for your continued encouragement of our citizens to participate in sporting activities. Thanks all for listening, and good evening.
And thanks very much, Mr. Sports Coordinator, Mr. Chillingford, for giving us the honor of the vote of thanks. Of course, I can also recall very distinctively that a few years ago, Honorable Senior Minister told us that in Dominica we mustn't practice ingratitude. And so we really want to show him by a very tangible way we are not in this malonette business. So I want to call on Ms. Joseph, first of all, to give a very deserving, beautiful bouquet to Honorable Melissa Skerrit for giving us the opportunity to be here this afternoon. So Ms. Joseph. We can do better than that now. As somebody is. Thank you very much. We will also have to show appreciation to His Excellency Ling Xingzhuang for giving us the honor of this donation. So we'll give him the food basket, the best of what Dominica have to offer. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Joseph. And we have reached the high point of today's ceremony. I will first ask that if we remain in our seats, we should be able to have full view of the table tennis competition. Or we could go closer, but do not. Yes, we'll go closer and allow the match to continue. We'll have commentary and we'll have scorers and everything, so it's an internationally contested game. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Minister.
If it means tell me, it's going to Glasgow to see you.
But it's a new pressure.
No matter how many people I go to, I tell you, no KTV. You're just employed by the KTV.
Yeah.
So, I tell them, I mean, I have the same, sorry, yes. They put it on the teachers. Because you know that I don't know that they have the minister of them. I don't know that. We don't believe what we don't know what they are doing. They have the means of education. So it's not even correct.
That's cool. They send me some, they send me an email. I got an email from away everything like that. That's for four of us. You know, I put up the mic.